Hello there, and welcome to a very brief demonstration of the Home and Abroad trip planning system, available on the web at homeandabroad.com, rated one of the top 25 travel-related websites by Travel and Leisure magazine in 2007. With Home and Abroad, there's 4 different ways you can plan your trip. You can use our Quick Planner, which is a way to input some qualities about the trip you'd like to take and have our system build the itinerary for you. You can select different trip themes, you can browse through the attractions and destinations yourself, or you can select a pre-packaged itinerary as part of our Dream Trip section. What we're going to do today is go through the quick planning process, which is started by just indicating what city we're traveling to. I'm going to choose San Francisco, California, because I know that's an interesting place to visit, and say we're going to go on a 3-day trip. We can give a title to our trip and give a start date if we want to, but those are optional, so we're going to skip that for now. We're going to tell the system what our party is comprised of, adults, seniors, and children. In this case, we're just going to say there's 2 adults and it happens to be a couple, and move on to the next step. Here we tell the system what our goals for the trip are. Let's say we want to see some famous sites, we'd like to venture off the beaten path a little bit, we'd appreciate recommendations from the Home and Abroad city experts. Let's say we want a little bit of romance in our trip, and we'd like to travel a little bit economically. As you can see, there's different criteria we can put in here as well. Moving on to the next step now, we can tell the system what different types of attractions we prefer on our vacation. Let's say we're interested in seeing some galleries and museums. We like buildings and monuments, and we like to visit some outlying areas. Don't want to be constricted to San Francisco proper. Go ahead and move on to the next step, and the system prompts us to indicate what our general interests are. We'll say we like architecture, we like local culture, we like the outdoors, and we're interested in photography as well. So we click on the next step, and what's happening now is the system is actually taking all of the inputs that we've given it, and it's crafting an itinerary based upon the hundreds of attractions that it has in its database and matching those to the criteria that we've provided. And the result is that it's crafted a 3-day itinerary for us in San Francisco. You can see that it's actually ordered the different attractions for day 1, day 2, and day 3, and it's filled out each day in an intelligent way, such that we're not too busily packed on each day, but that we have a nice mix of things to do that are fairly closely located to each other geographically, so we're not zipping all over the place too radically. We can see that's the case by viewing our attractions on a map. Bring this down, and you can see that by day it's mapped out our attractions on day 1, day 2, and day 3. Actually, of note here is that on day 2, Angel Island State Park, we can't see it on the map right now, but if we zoom out of the map a little bit, we'll see that this attraction is actually outside of the city center of San Francisco a little bit. The system was intelligent enough to know that the first day of a trip is typically one in which a traveler doesn't want to leave the city that they've just arrived in, that first day after the travel day is one you probably want to spend right in town. So what it's done is taken the attraction that was outside of the city a little bit, Angel Island State Park in this case, and moved that to the second day. So there is intelligence that goes into planning where within the 3-day itinerary attractions are placed, and then it also uses a traveling sales algorithm to map out the order in which it recommends you visit those various attractions. Go ahead and close the map, come back to our itinerary, and we'll move on to the final step in the process, which is to see a summary of all the attractions on our itinerary in a form that is just easy to understand, and in fact lets us print out a free trip guide. We're going to go ahead and pop that up, and this is a neat little feature because it allows us to have all of the information about the various recommended attractions and sites for our destination, including some general information about our city, in one handy place where we can go ahead and print this out and probably save ourselves a little money for not having to buy a full trip guide to San Francisco at the bookstore. That's a neat little feature that we provide here at Home and Abroad. Just one final thing. So this is the trip itinerary as we saw previously, and we also end with some recommendations from Home and Abroad that the traveler might be interested in exploring: hotels, restaurants, things to do, which are different tours and other commercial offerings within the city, and different free activities. Free activities are educational and recreational activities that are crafted by Home and Abroad city experts that pertain to the city and the activities and the attractions that have been crafted into the itinerary. Finally, there's also some personal shopper recommendations from Amazon for books or other products that the traveler might want to buy. That's really the essence of the system. Thanks for sitting in on our demo today, and have a good day.